Life insurance. Have you ever thought about using a life insurance policy for anything other than just life insurance? How about for supplementing your retirement? Or what about even funding and paying for college? Well, let's talk about some of the pros and cons that come along with using a life insurance policy to help you pay the college bill. Here we go. Now, using a life insurance policy for anything other than life insurance can be really controversial depending on who you ask. There's a campaign of people who are totally for it, and then there's a ton of people who are completely against it. So we're going to talk about a few pros and cons that come along with using a policy to help you pay for college. So for starters, let's jump into some of the positives and the pros that come along with using insurance contract to help you pay for college. Number one is you get a death benefit. Having a death benefit or a life insurance policy can help alleviate some of the financial distress that can come along with passing away. But number two, when it comes to a little bit, I would say unconventional methods of using a policy, is the growth associated with having an insurance policy. As you put money aside in your policy, depending on the type of policy you use, that money does grow, and it grows with some very competitive interest rates and it's tax deferred, and you have a lot of upside potential when you're using your policy. Now, there's a few different types of policies, some that have more conservative growth, some that have more risky growth, and some that's kind of right in between. We're not going to talk about the different types of policies, but the growth potential within a policy can be very advantageous if you're using it to pay for college. And then we're going to talk about accessibility or liquidity when it comes to a policy. When you pull the money out and use that money to pay for college or for anything else that you're looking to do, that a lot of times you have access to that money tax-free, depending on how you pull or withdraw the funds. You could take out a loan or withdraw, but you have tax-favored liquidity when it comes to an insurance policy. One of the biggest pros when it comes to using an insurance policy for college is being able to use a policy and not have it count against you when it comes to your EFC or your expected family contribution. Using an insurance policy as an asset or even to take withdrawals or loans from the policy is often not counted against you when assessing your aid eligibility. So you have the ability to set aside and have money grow at a ridiculous rate, market type rates, pull the money out tax efficiently or tax free, be able to use those same funds to help you pay for college and not have it count against you when it comes to your aid eligibility. Those are some of the pros and some of the power plays when it comes to using an insurance policy to pay for college. Now, when it comes to some of the negatives, one of the most common negatives that can be associated with an insurance policy is you not being able to get approved. I don't really know if that's a negative when it comes to policy or more so regarding your unique situation, but you have to get approved. It's an insurance policy. There's an underwriting and a screening process that you have to go through to have such a vehicle. And then when it comes to the costs associated with the policy, every policy can be designed differently depending on who you work with. But I've seen policies that look phenomenal when it comes to the makeup of the policy, and I've seen policies that look horrific and horrible, and they can be very costly if they're not designed the right way. So costs associated with your policy can be another negative or a con when using a policy to pay for college. And then also, when it comes to an insurance policy, there can be a lot of moving parts, and it can be somewhat confusing. If you don't understand what you're paying for, what you're using, and how the insurance policy works, that can be very confusing as well. Very similar to a 401k or other investment vehicles. If you don't understand how they work and you don't really understand the pros and cons of what you're putting your money away into, then there are obvious negatives and cons that come along with that. But besides those few negatives and the pros that I just mentioned to you, a life insurance contract is a great thing to consider when evaluating your options when it comes to saving money and setting aside money for college. It's a great way to shelter, it's a great way to have money grow, and it's a great way to protect your family for the expected as well as the unexpected. So for more information when it comes to life insurance policies, or if you're looking for an agent nearby to work with or to get a little bit more understanding of how a policy can be beneficial in your situation, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. Once again, this is Josh with the Grade Above College Planning. You can reach us at info@agradeabovecp.com. Comment below if you have any questions specifically regarding insurance or saving and using funds to pay for college. We'll talk to you soon. Be on the lookout for some more information. Thank you.